I've got the dubious honour of closing the show tonight. Ordinarily that would be fine, but most shows don't include Tina Turner, a real-life mermaid, and Tracy Escobar from Sunderland. The other thing I want to do is give Tony a big shout out on behalf of everyone tonight for being a great coach and a brilliant MC. So let's hear it for Tony, everyone. Having said that, if you've enjoyed the show, it's down to the performance. If you haven't, it's because of Tony's bad coaching. Now, my dad rang me the other day. He was asking for some advice on which walking centre to go to. Now, I'm not a doctor, so that might seem a little bit weird. But as a chronic health anxiety sufferer, I class myself as a bit of an urgent care connoisseur. So I said, do you want efficiency, quality, or any particular specialism? Cramlington, great for a suspected heart attack. Rate Lane, ideal for a quick and dirty diagnosis. But Benton out of hours GP, avoid that one at all costs. You're getting on now, Dad. And when I was there last week, I saw a doctor who looked suspiciously like Harold Shipman. But anyway, after all my years of consulting Dr. Google, I fancy myself as a bit of a diagnostic pro. So I said, "How are you, Dad? Tell us what's up." He said, "Well, David, I've got swelling around the ankles. I can't feel my toes, and my skin's hot to touch." Just to point out there, my dad is from Scotland. I'm not having a stroke mid-set. Actually, can somebody just Google stroke symptoms for us, just to make sure? Anyway, back to my dad, I said, "Dad, you've got cellulitis with arterial fibrillation and occipital neuralgia. Scrap everything, get to the RVI now. I'll round up the family. God rest your soul." Turns out you had heat rash. Now you know who loves my hypochondria? My wife. Ladies, it's like having a husband with man flu, except I'm moping around the house with fictional cancer. And I do have a wife, I am married, I just don't wear any wedding ring anymore. Not because I'm conducting some sort of covert affair, no. It's basically because my fingers have gotten too fat. And what a place to carry excess weight. It's not all bad though, I reckon there's bound to be money in being King Charles's identical hand twin. Mind you, if I was going to have something in common with one of the royals, I would much rather it was Prince Andrew. I sweat buckets as soon as it's hotter than 10 degrees. Speaking of my wife, she really loves shopping. Now, it's one thing having a wife who loves shopping and spends all your money. It's a whole different ball game when you've got one who loves getting a bargain. She still spends all your money, but you end up with all the shit that no one else wants. The other day, she came home with a second-hand bin. Yes, a bin. Now, I was told this bin was half the price it was supposed to be. Great, but we still spent 50 quid on a smelly, dented lump of metal with a broken lid. You'd have thought they at least would have emptied it before they sold it to her. And forget election interference and data mining. Facebook Marketplace is the single worst thing Mark Zuckerberg's inflicted on this world. A nice convenient way to buy and sell stuff locally. No, it's a nice convenient way to give my wife access to local second-hand shit. And that's before she sends me to collect said shit. Not on a random door, not knowing who or what was going to be on the other side. Ah, you must be here for the nearly new toilet brush. Now, from bargains to overpriced, any parent will tell you that car seats cost an absolute fortune. You're talking at 200 quid a pop, 2 kids, 2 cars, you're talking nearly £1,000 to keep your kids safe. Now, some people might see that as a good investment, but I reckon it would be cheaper and easier just to pop out a new kid if needed. Now, why don't you get 2 seats and move them between cars? On the surface, a sensible suggestion. Until you realise you need a master's degree in engineering to install the bloody things. Now, I adore my 2 daughters, I really do, but recently I've started playing a game I like to call Sophie's Choice, the car seat edition. Let me explain the rules. So my wife, as you now know, loves to get a bargain. She managed to pick up a couple of second-hand car seats. Now these car seats have seen better days, and they were the old school ones that used a seatbelt rather than the Isofix. I'm not totally a responsible parent, so we decided to split these between cars. So each car has a good car seat and a questionable car seat. So every time I put the kids in the car, I have to decide who's going to get the steak for them today. It's a bit like Santa's naughty and nice list with potentially deadly consequences. Ah, you were a pain in the arse last night. It's your turn to dice with death today. Now we're fast becoming a cashless society, aren't we? Which is a bit of a pain for me because it makes it even easier for your wife to spend all your money. But there's still people who demand cash money. Take the window cleaner, for example. I swear I give him 20 quid a week if he only washes my windows twice a year. Does anyone even know what the window cleaner looks like? I reckon if I hired on a tracksuit and went knocking on doors on a dark winter's night, I'd make an absolute fortune. Then you've got the tax dodging Chinese takeaways and the man who runs five-a-side football on a Thursday night, waddling home with £500 coins in his pocket. The problem is you just don't have cash lying around anymore, do you? So what do? You raid the kids' piggy bank. Imagine that. Stealing your 4-year-old daughter's birthday money to pay for your king prawns and Szechuan sauce. And it's a good job they don't count the money before the tooth fairy comes. It's like a circular economy. Piggy bank, pillow. Piggy bank, pillow. Now when kids start school, it's only a matter of time until you get the dreaded knit letter. As a hypochondriac, that's one of the single worst letters you can get. It's up there with an HMRC tax notice or a speeding fine. And what's the first thing you do when you get it? Do you think pragmatically? No, you panic buy every knit product under the sun. Combs, shampoos, even a set of hair clippers. Then you reach the next stage of the process. Speculation on which child has got them. Now there's nothing like a knit outbreak to bring out your true abhorrent opinions of small, innocent children. It must be that Jane, he's a little shit. Or maybe it was Becky, she's always looked feral. Then your knit extermination care package arrives and it confirms your worst fears. You're all infected. Your tune quickly changes. You forget the smelly kids at school and you reassure yourself that knits only live in clean hair. Then you ban all small black things from the house for an indefinite period. You don't want anything that can be confused for a knit. Poppy seeds, beluga caviar, even Gary Coleman. Then, after you've combed and bleached your hair until you're practically bald, you threaten the entire family with a set of hair clippers. You've done it! You've eradicated the little blighters. You take a deep sigh, but your relief is short-lived when you see a worm coming out your kid's arsehole. So thank you everyone, you've been great. In fact, you've been such a generous audience, you've made me want to give something back. So if anyone's struggling to get a GP appointment at the minute, I'm going to be offering on-the-spot diagnoses down the bar there at the back. And also I've got a little bit of a car boot sale at the back full of genuine top quality pre-loved items from my house. You have to be quick on those though before my wife buys it all back. So thank you, I've been David Kerr, cheers!